Today I'm going to show you all the easiest way to make bus up shot. Trinbagonian bus up shot roti is a beloved dish in Trinidad and Tobago, characterized by its toned and flaky appearance, resembling a busted up shirt. The roti starts with a soft, thin and layered flatbread cooked on a tawa. It's commonly enjoyed with savory dishes like curried meats and vegetables, as well as stews. Overall, it's a flavorful and satisfying dish that reflects the island's culinary creativity and cultural heritage. Alright, so the first step for our bus up shot is to knead our flour. So 4 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, we're going to add in 3 ingredients. Salt for flavor, taste, just to elevate everything in our roti. Baking powder, this helps with the overall texture, giving it that light, airy, melt in your mouth texture. And brown sugar. Brown sugar does a couple of things. It adds color. It adds sweetness, of course, because it's sugar. It also adds a lot of flavor because the brown sugar has molasses, a lot of in our bus up shot. So you want to make sure to evenly incorporate all our ingredients into the flour before we go any further. This just helps for overall even cooking, even flavor, even taste. Just making it well in the middle, and I'm going in with my room temperature water. So one of the things I like to do anytime I'm working with flour is to always have extra flour and in some instances extra liquid, in this case water, on hand. Yeah, it just makes life a lot easier. And if you want to use your stand mixer, more comfortable doing that, by all means go ahead. So what I want to do here is just quickly hydrate as much flour as I can. And then what I'm going to do next is sort of separate my hydrated flour mix so that I'll know how much dry mix I still have to hydrate. Because one thing you don't want to do is add too much water, because then that'll mean I'll have to just add flour, and by then I'm guessing. And I'm also using the opportunity to clean my bowl. You know, Granny and them always used to have their bowl clean. So that's what we want to do. We want to work smart, not hard. So I'm just pinching the dough with between my index finger and thumb, just to help incorporate as much of this dry flour as possible. Pressing down on the bowl just to scrape off all these dry specks. Now you want this dough to be a little tacky, you want it to be a little soft. Right, so don't get frightened. A lot of people get scared and they're like, oh God, I do not have to work wet dough or, you know, sticky dough, but that's all right. It's gonna stick on your hand a little bit, but that's okay. Just bear with it, it's not for long. You want this goes a long way in giving you that silky, smooth, soft melt in your mouth bus up shot. And I wanna give a shout out to Courts. Today's video is sponsored by them, and they actually outfitted the entire Foodie Nation kitchen. So huge shout out to Courts. Thanks for continuing to support us. So as soon as your dough comes together like this, I'm just gonna remove a little excess dough on my hand. So don't worry, it's looking like a shaggy ball of dough, but that's okay, because throughout each step, we're gonna be working or kneading our dough, our bus up shot. Every time you roll it out, every time you use your rolling pin, you are essentially kneading it. So we don't want to overwork it, because overworking it will give us a stiff dough, and that will give us a stiff bus up shot. And as I said earlier, we don't want that. The goal here is soft and silky bus up shot. So another thing too with starch is that the longer it sits, it's going to continue to absorb all the excess moisture. So look at how by applying our fat, in this case the ghee, and introducing thyme, the dough here is already beginning to not stiffen up but absorb the moisture and become a lot more easy for us to work with. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to cover this. You could use a warm damp cloth, cling wrap, if you want to use a container with a cover, anything like that is fine. We want to cover it, and we want to let it rest for, I would say, a minimum 15 to 20 minutes. Why? Like any other protein, flour, you have to give it time to rest and relax before you continue to work it. This is what will help to give us our soft, silky bus up shot at the end. Yeah, so we're just gonna cover this up and leave them for 15 to 20 minutes. All right, so the next step for our bus-up shot is to divide into our individual balls or individual layers. Now, at this point here, how much you divide this into, or if you even divide it at all, is really up to you, because it really depends on the size of bus-up shot you're making and the size of your tower. You know, a lot of things come into play here. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to divide it into 6 to show you how to make like your own individual bus-up shots. So the first thing I'm going to do, just going to divide it into 2. And I mean, you could get a scale out and weigh this, or you could just do like me right now and eyeball it. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate. And I'm just in the palm of my hand, I'm just pulling the sides under itself just to get a smooth ball. It still has a lot of fat on it from the ghee. Some people round it like this. Some people turn it upside down and bring the sides in and push it down like this. All ideally is the same exact concept. Just want a smooth, even work surface. Go again. So I know a lot of y'all are going to probably ask or bring up the topic of using ghee as opposed to butter, as opposed to margarine, and maybe some of y'all don't even know what ghee is. So to start off, ghee is actually clarified butter, and what that means is the milk solids is removed from the butter. Now that offers several advantages. 1, a higher smoke point. Ghee has a higher smoke point than butter and margarine, making it suitable for high temperature cooking methods like frying and sauteing without burning or producing a burnt taste. Longer shelf life. Ghee has a longer shelf life compared to butter and margarine because it is clarified, removing the water and milk solids that can cause spoilage. Properly stored ghee can last for months at room temperature. So, I mean, if you're comfortable and you feel confident enough, you don't necessarily need to dust your work surface. Let's see how the flour reacts. I'm just trying to evenly spread it out with my fingers before I attack it with the rolling pin. Let's see, so far so good. I don't really like too much excess flour. So that kind of changes your bus-up shot. Now remember I said these are individual bus-up shots, so I would aim for a 8-inch wide disc for us to apply our fat. Now we're aiming for even layer of fat here. Now remember, when we kneaded our flour, there was no fat. It was flour, salt, baking powder, sugar, water. This is how you incorporate the fat into this flatbread, because that's what bus-up shot is. So roti is a type of flatbread. Yeah, so just using a brush, room temperature ghee, clarified butter, whichever one you're more comfortable calling it, and I am adding an even layer and a very thin layer of flour, very thin. Then I'm just using my bend scraper, cut in half. What you're gonna do is I'm just lifting. Remember, I don't have any flour, so this is sticking slightly to the counter. So I'm just lifting it with my 2 hands, lift and roll. I would say, ideally for me at least 7 to 8 rolls. And the last one, I always like to pick it up from here and tuck it in, and then put it in the palm of your hand and press all the sides in. All right, take your time, you'll get there. Then you flip it over. See the top of the cone? Do the same thing with the top of the cone. Then from there, just to make life easy for myself, what I do, I like to store the flour in one of these containers. I'm just gonna drop it in, top and bottom, before returning it to my work surface. Yeah, cover it back, and I'm going again. Now when I finish with all 6, I will just lightly dust some more flour over all 6, but for now I'm just using the cling. Ghee is lactose and casein free, making it a suitable alternative for individuals with lactose intolerance or dairy allergies. The clarification process removes these components from butter. Ghee has a rich, nutty flavor that adds depth and complexity to dishes. It enhances the taste of both savory and sweet dishes without overpowering other flavors. Ghee has a long history of use in various cuisines, particularly in Indian, Middle Eastern, and Southeast Asian cooking. It is valued for its flavor, nutritional properties, and cultural significance in religious rituals and traditional medicine. While high in saturated fats and calories, ghee contains fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Overall, ghee offers advantages such as a higher smoke point, longer shelf life, lactose and casein-free properties, rich flavor, cultural significance, and potential nutritional benefits compared to butter and margarine. All right, so now that we have all our lawyers layered in with the ghee, what we're gonna do now is just apply some fat just to help prevent any scabs from forming on top. I wanna get all these sides and everywhere. I prefer to use the ghee. Of course, if you prefer to use flour, you could do that too, but I just prefer to use the ghee because it'll help me in the long run with less flour on it when time to go on the tawa, which makes cleaning and life a lot more simpler. So I'm just gonna cover it back with the cling again. If you prefer to use a warm damp cloth, you could do that as well. And we wanna let our lawyers rest. Same reason as before, just wanna allow the protein in the flour to relax before we move on to the last step, which is to roll out and bust up on the tawa. All right, so time has passed. Our lawyers are rested. So now I'm gonna flatten them out. And again, remember I said these are individual lawyers, so they're not gonna be too big. You already see the layers coming through, which is what we want. Oh yeah, all right, and straight to the tower we go. All right, straight to the tower we go. Now again, these are small individual lawyers, so not gonna take long to cook at all. As soon as it releases itself from the tower, I'm gonna flip. So see, checking it, still sticking somewhat. Release, turn. If I roll this out on a floured surface, now would be the cue to just brush on some ghee just to help remove that excess flour and that burnt look. Because I didn't roll it out on a floured surface, there's no need to do that. So, check it here. One more turn. For persons who making this for the first time, there's very little or less skill or technique needed. For instance, with a larger bust-up shot, you will have to get your 2 towers out and know when and how to beat it and bust it up. Yeah, but in this instance, you don't necessarily have to do that. As you can see, the layers are already developed. You're really just bursting it when you are eating it. But they're already, and I'll show you. So this is more or less cooked. What we want to do now, I'm just allowing it to get some additional color. And you always want to be mindful of the heat of your tawa. You're looking for somewhere between low and medium because you don't want to burn your roti. All right, one more flip. Just like get some color on that side. You could count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip it. See how we got it, all the extra color? That's it. He's done. And what you need to do now is transfer it to a container. It could be, I'm using my nephew's lunch kit, layered with napkins. It could be layered with cloth, just a tightly sealed container. All right, so here we have our bust-up shot, our individual bust-up shots. There's only one thing again left to do. Let me show you all the layers. So look at that. Look at that. So when you bust it open, you see all the layers. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see? Look at that. Just fall apart. Oh, let's go again. Show you. Look at that. See? Look at all those layers. Oh, look, I don't even have to bust this one. This one falling apart on its own. Look at that. That's what you want. That's what you're looking for. So again, it's not something difficult to do. You know, we tried our best to make it as easy and interactive and straightforward as possible for persons who know, you know, wanted to try bus up shot for themselves. Oh my God, look at this. Now want to try it for themselves. So now hopefully you have an easy tutorial recipe to follow. And as always, you know, be sure to send us your comments, let us know how you like the recipe, send us your pictures, and last but not least, big shout out to Courts. Again, we constantly get questions about all your appliances. For some reason, we get questions almost every day about the stove. All your appliances will be linked in the description of the video. Huge shout out to Courts. Thank you all so much. Bye.